What's on my mind? Season 2, episode 21. Racism in the city of Boston. Racism in the city of Boston government. But first, let me say, to the creator of all things known and unknown, to the Lord God of Israel, we come before you and we say we love you, we honor you, we praise you. Please take control of this. Please let it be your will. Let your will be done. Victor. This segment right here, I'm talking about racism in Boston. I call it racism. Some might call it favoritism. Some might call it looking out for their own. Some might say it's my prerogative. But when you put it all together, I'm going to bring up the facts. You decide. To everybody running for mayor, Miss Campbell and all, human resource, Patricia Casey, listen to this story. In the city of Boston, they have a drug policy, which states, to the best of my knowledge, and I believe this is correct, you fail a drug test, you're suspended for 30 days, you go into a program. You fail 2 tests and you're terminated. That's the way it was told to me. And that has how it been happening and punishment been coming down since I've been in public works. But favoritism, racism, Frenchism, something happened. There was a gentleman which was promoted to a TOG, temporary out of grade position of supervisor in the public works department. He was promoted to supervise men. He was put in a position of authority. They gave him a drug test, and he failed it. They put him in a program. After his 30 days and that program was up, to be reinstated from his I can't even get the word out. Suspension, excuse me on that. I got so many things going on up here. His suspension, he had to take another drug test to get restated back in. And he failed that one, which it comes to 2 drug tests that he failed in a row. Went back into a 30-day, and they brought him back. Not only did they bring him back, they gave him a promotion to supervisor. That gentleman was white man. 2 drug tests, 2 failed, promotion. This is not the first time it happened. There was another white gentleman who failed a drug test. Not only did he fail a drug test, when they called him in to take the drug test, he went home, got a fake penis, filled it up with somebody else's piss, according to his story, and came up positive for heroin. He cried foul. It's not me. I took another employee's urine in his field. I smoked marijuana. They promoted him to position of supervisor. Oh, so everybody said, oh, that's swell. That's what they do. Oh, but I'm going to show you the contrast. There was a young black man who signed on to work for the city employee. This employee was a black man. When you first come to the city, you're on a 6 months probation. It says, if you had any problems, you will not be hired. 4 days, 1, 2, 3, 4 days before his 6 months is out, the superintendent and the deputy superintendent pull up behind his vehicle. This particular day, the young man was tired and he's leaning his head on the steering wheel. He got fired immediately. There was, oh, do not let this happen again. We notice you're a good worker, because he was a good worker. He does his job as it was given to him all the time. But that one time, he just happened to be exhausted and put his head on the steering wheel. They follow the rules. There was no ands, ifs, or buts for leaning your head on the steering wheel. But if you could do drugs and you under the influence of drugs that is illegal, if you caught with those drugs, you go to jail. If you have those systems and drugs while you're driving in a city vehicle and kill somebody, all our taxes will go up. But that's okay, as long as you are white. Because it happened once, it happened twice. You get a promotion to supervisor. So Miss Campbell, Trish Casey. Oh, how do I know the facts are true? Because they kept this quiet and under the table. But the facts are the facts. Speak to the guy who give out the testing. The man in charge. Ask him outright. Because we did that ethics. Conduct not becoming a city employee. See if he lied to you in your face. Then ask him why. Was that person suspended for 30 days and then went right back to another 30 days? How did he keep his job? How he got promoted? How is that possible? Is every other person in the city of Boston is inadequate to that position? That must be the case. Has to be the case. Because over and over and over again, if you're white, you have forgiveness. And if you're black, you're not. So, that's what's on my mind. But this story do not end here. There's a side two to this story. Get your friends. Tell everybody. Tell everybody. Before you vote, come onto these videos. Before you make your decision on who you put in office, who's in power. Because I have more and more story of corruption in Boston city government. How our tax money is being misused and abused. Our money. In all truth. And it's right under their nose because they have the facts. But I know where to look for it, and I know where to tell you to go get the facts, and you can judge for yourself. Favoritism in the city of Boston, which equal racism. Next week, we'll be talking about how to live in wealth. There should be nobody living with needs. There is no reason to need for anything. You might need, you might have wants, but you should not have needs. On that point, let me say one more thing before I leave out of here. The city of Boston was given $24,000 for each and every single person that worked during this epidemic when the city was shut down. Boston employees, the federal government gave it to the state released it to the city. $24,000 for each person that worked while the city was shut down and closed down. Us men in public works have not received our money. They told us they are not going to give us the money that the government already released for us. Our families were put in danger. They have no respect for us. Our lives were in danger. They care less about us. And for sure, it's duty noted. And that's what's on my mind.